social work. My two guests this morning, Kathleen Taylor, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And Marcia Boyle, it's lovely to have you with us today.
Thank you, Bob.
We're going to talk about social work. I have a hypothetical point that I'd like to point out to you two ladies, and we can discuss it from there. I'm walking down a hallway, and I see someone maybe not walking straight or staggering, needs some help, or maybe he or she has dementia or some such thing. Who do I talk to?
Well, what we normally say is if you notice something that you're concerned about with a neighbor, that you do reach out to your social worker, and they will follow up appropriately. So it's always good. We do sometimes depend on our residents to take care of one another, and if you notice a problem that might be a new onset or something like that of something, or there's just a concern that maybe is more prevalent than it was before, then we really want to know that. So let us know. But I did want to say that Marcia and I are here for a particular purpose today.
Very good.
Yeah, you want to know what the purpose? The purpose is, we're really excited. Social work, and then the Vantage Point program that Marcia and I do on Channel 6 is promoting a community forum that we're going to have Steve Magg, who is one of the directors for Leading Age, be coming on February 3rd. February 3rd, and there's lots of advertisements that we're trying to do. We're putting cubby stuffers out. They're going to be out at the beginning of next week because we really want to get a lot of excitement, because this guy is like a top authority on CCRCs, continuing care retirement communities, and Leading Age is doing research, advocacy, all kinds of really interesting things around the area of continuing care, which they're also talking about changing to life plan communities, I think, to try to make it a little different. But they're interested in, as we all are, in how the CCRC would be changing, especially with all the baby boomers coming in. And since that was one of the topics that came up when we did our focus groups for our last Vantage Point, for 2017 Vantage Point, that was something that our residents were interested in, was what's the future of our community and what's the future of CCRCs, and how are baby boomers coming in going to impact the community, all of that good stuff. So we're hoping to get some answers from him and ask him some questions.
Well, I know that you and Marcia work closely together on projects, which is wonderful. Marcia, the last time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe about 6 months ago, you and Kathleen planned to have residents come in and portray similar people, if you will. An alcoholic was one, I believe. And
Oh,
That's life.
that's our That's Life program, Bob, and thanks for even bringing that up. We do 2 monthly shows, Kathleen and I, on Channel 6 that we have a great deal of fun with, and residents seem to enjoy. And the one you're describing is called That's Life, and it's a series of vignettes of residents. We have resident role players who come in and portray interesting kinds of situations. I mean, the kind of situation that you just described. And yes, we did have a drinking lady that Jane Ford played, and very, very successfully, I might add. And then with the vignettes, then one of the social workers reacts to the issue and gives the resident good advice, of course. Well, so we try to have interesting little vignettes that are all fictional, I might add.
The portrayal that you and Kathleen had was so realistic
Yes.
that I understand
Yes.
that somebody thought Jane Ford was really an
I
alcoholic.
think there were a number of people.
Yeah.
She got a lot of ribbing about that.
Yeah.
She absolutely did. In fact, this happens with all of our role players. They tell me that folks
Yeah.
get confused whether they're acting or whether they're real situation, but it's all fictional.
That's
Now, the
part
other program that we have that is the most relevant to what we're talking about here is Vantage Point, which is the first Friday of every month. And Vantage Point is a serious program, or a more serious program at least. We have, it's a discussion program, and we try to identify a particular issue that we think is of most importance to residents. And as Kathleen alluded to, we have identified the topics that we choose. We choose a different one each month. And the way we have identified the topics of most interest to residents is through 2 focus groups that we've held. We held one a little over a year ago, and then one in the fall, this fall. And one of the topics that kept coming up, really in both of them, was where is Green Spring going? What is Green Spring going to look like? I mean, clearly we have to recognize that Green Spring is changing. Those of us who have been here for any length of time realize that this is not the same Green Spring that we knew even 5 years ago, and certainly 10 or 15 years ago. It's not the same Green Spring. And if it's changed this much now, where is it going to be 5 or 10 or 20 years from now? So this is what we're addressing. And Steve Magg, that Kathleen has mentioned here, is, as you said, Kathleen, one of the leading national figures on CCRCs and what they're going to look like. You know, what are the baby boomer expectations? What is technology going to do? So we think it's a terrifically exciting topic.
Yep. Yeah. We would really encourage people to come out, because I think it's going to be very stimulating.
Yes. Lots of discussion, we hope.
We hope lots of discussion, but also just an opportunity to sort of hear where an authority feels the community might be going.
This is so important that let's repeat some of the days and dates that we have coming up.
Okay. Go ahead.
It is Friday, February 3rd. It'll be 11 to 12:15 in the Akatink room.
In the Akatink room.
And seating is limited, so we're urging folks to try to get there early.
Are you going to ask for sign-ups and things like this?
No, we are not. We're not going to do it.
First come, first served.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, also, in addition to that, Steve is coming in early that day, and we're having him live on our Vantage Point program at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock is the Vantage Point with Steve Magg. He's going to earn his pay, which is
Not.
and then he goes down at 11 o'clock to the Akatink
Will
room.
there be a question and answer
Yes.
portion of the program?
Ample opportunity.
Yep, I think that's our plan, to give the residents a chance to bring their questions, and I think he's going to have some answers that we're maybe going to be surprised at. So
I
I think I'm going to be learning a lot.
I think we all are.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Kathleen. I agree with you. We're putting flyers on the cubbies over the weekend, so folks should get some details.
Ample
there.
notice.
Ample notice. There you go. But it's 2 weeks from today. So. So we're extremely enthusiastic, and if anybody has any questions about it, either Kathleen or I.
Well, this sounds exciting.
Yeah. I mean, this guy really is an authority, so I think we're lucky to have, Washington, D.C. be the home of leading age, so that we could tap him without a lot of problems, without having to pay airfare and stuff to get him here.
That's right.
So.
And Steve Magg has been out here before. VACRA, I know, sponsored him several years ago. I think maybe he's been out here twice. So there are folks, but it's been, I think, 4 or 5 years since he's been here. So there are people who have seen him, and he's an excellent speaker. I mean, terribly knowledgeable about the issue of CCRCs.
He is an expert in the CCRC field.
You know, we should
Yeah.
define CCRC.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, well, it's continuing care retirement community, clearly. And, basically what it means is when a person moves into our community, then they have all of the different care settings available to them. So if their needs change once they move in, we're able to meet all of their needs without them having to move outside to a different community. So that's the whole, the fundamental premise of continuing care is that once you've moved into this community, you're not going to have to move anymore. You might move within the community, but you're not going to have to move outside of the community. So that sort of helps people with the life plan, which I actually do kind of like. Leading Age has proposed that CCRCs be called life plan communities for the reason that continuing care sounds like kind of more like medical model, whereas life care, is like your plan, or life planning rather,
Right.
is more about you're just planning for what comes next in your life. And if you plan to be in a community like this, that's good planning, because you don't have to worry about a lot of things. You don't have to worry about what's next. You know that resource is available for you right there.
It's a good bit more intentional than I think most of us feel like we're doing with our lives these days. But I mean, I don't think we feel like we have a lot of control and that we plan. But yes, you get the idea anyway.
Yeah. I think maybe just making the plan to move into this community, that sort of like sets in motion everything else. So you don't really have to think so much after that. And you have social workers
gracious.
to help you think.
Well, now, is this the objective of moving into a CCRC? You could stop thinking, dear.
You have to. Well, you've already made the hard choice.
We're going to have to pursue that one a bit more. Bob, did you hear what she said?
You can stop thinking. We're going to take care of you. I don't want anybody to do that.
No.
I don't
I
want
have
anybody to
just
do that.
been notified that we're just about out of time.
I suspect
But,
that'll do it. That'll do us both in.
But I do think we should repeat one more time this very important piece of information that you ladies have just imparted. February 3rd.
February 3rd. The title of the community forum is "The Future of CCRCs," and where is Green Spring going?
Okay.
It is February 3rd, Friday, at 11 o'clock in the Akatink Room. And it's preceded by 10 o'clock Vantage Point program with Steve Magg on Channel 6 live.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
We thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on. It's been really exciting. And now, if I may, I have some announcements that I'd like to pass on.